I was sitting in my pickup truck at 2 in the morning, looking at the apartment building through my rearview mirror. Everything I owned was packed in the back. My heart felt like someone had reached in and squeezed it, but I knew I had made the right choice. 3 years with Lauren, and it all came down to this moment. I never thought loving someone could mean losing yourself completely. But that is exactly what happened. It all started 6 months ago when her sister Diane showed up with 2 kids and nowhere else to go. Before I tell you how it all fell apart, let me know where you are watching from in the comments below. And if you have ever felt like you were being taken for granted in a relationship, hit that like button. You are going to want to stick around for this one because what happened after I walked out that door changed everything. Let me take you back to how things used to be. Lauren and I met 4 years ago at a country music concert in Austin. I remember she was wearing this yellow sundress and cowboy boots, singing along to every song. I was there with some buddies from work, and the moment I saw her smile, I knew I had to talk to her. We hit it off immediately. She was a kindergarten teacher with the kindest heart I'd ever known. I worked as a software engineer for a tech startup downtown. We balanced each other perfectly. Our life together was simple and beautiful. We rented a one-bedroom apartment in the suburbs, nothing fancy, but it was ours. Every evening after work, we would cook dinner together. Lauren loved making pasta from scratch, and I would handle the sauce. We had this beagle named Biscuit who would sit by the stove waiting for scraps. After dinner, we would walk Biscuit around the neighborhood, talking about our days, making plans for the future. Weekend mornings meant sleeping in, then grabbing coffee at our favorite spot on the corner. We watched movies on the couch, went hiking when the weather was nice, and spent holidays with both our families. Money was tight sometimes, but we were saving for a house. We had this dream of a little place with a backyard for Biscuit and maybe a garden for Lauren. We talked about getting married, about kids someday. Everything felt right. Looking back now, those were the best months of my life. I was happy. We were happy. Then 6 months ago, everything changed. Lauren came home from work on a Tuesday with tears in her eyes. Her sister Diane was getting divorced. The husband had a drinking problem and drained their savings. Diane lost the house, lost everything. She had nowhere to go and 2 kids to take care of, 8-year-old Jaden and 5-year-old Kylie. Lauren begged me to let them stay with us just for 2 weeks until Diane could get back on her feet. What was I supposed to say? I loved Lauren and I wanted to help her family. So I said yes. Diane showed up that Friday night with garbage bags full of clothes and 2 exhausted-looking kids. She was 36 with dark circles under her eyes and this defeated posture. I felt bad for her, I really did. The kids seemed sweet at first. Jaden was quiet, glued to his tablet. Kylie had blonde pigtails and clutched a stuffed rabbit. I helped them get settled, gave up our bedroom so Diane could sleep there with Kylie while Jaden took the couch. Lauren and I moved to an air mattress in the living room corner. 2 weeks turned into a month, then 2 months. Our small apartment felt like it was shrinking every day. Jaden played video games at full volume until midnight. I would lie on that air mattress, staring at the ceiling, listening to explosions and gunfire from his game. I had to be up at 6 for work. When I asked him to turn it down, he would ignore me. Diane would just shrug and say, "Boys will be boys." Kylie was somehow worse. She threw tantrums over everything. Did not like the cereal we bought, screamed for an hour. Wanted to watch cartoons, screamed when we needed the TV. One afternoon I came home to find she had drawn all over our freshly painted living room wall with permanent markers, big purple flowers and green scribbles everywhere. I had just spent a whole weekend painting that wall. Lauren apologized but said we could not be mad at a 5-year-old for being creative. The bills doubled. Our water bill tripled because the kids took long baths and left faucets running. The electricity went up because Jaden kept his game console on all night, and Diane blasted the air conditioning. Our grocery budget exploded. I was making decent money, but I was not prepared to support 5 people. Lauren contributed her teacher salary, but it barely covered half of what we needed. Diane never offered to pay anything. She said she was looking for work, but I never saw her fill out a single application. Our date nights disappeared. Our quiet evenings vanished. Our privacy was gone. I set up my work laptop on a tiny desk in the bedroom because the living room had become a permanent play zone. I took calls from my bedroom closet just to get some quiet. Lauren and I barely had time to talk anymore. When we did, it was always about Diane or the kids or some new problem that had come up. Then the babysitting started. The first time was a Saturday morning about 6 weeks after they moved in. Diane came out of the bedroom dressed up, makeup on, hair curled. She announced she had a job interview and needed us to watch Jaden and Kylie. Lauren immediately agreed before I could even process what was happening. I thought fine one time for a few hours. I could handle that. I wanted to support Diane getting her life together. That day was absolute chaos. Within an hour, Jaden knocked over a full glass of soda directly onto my work laptop. It was a company laptop worth about $2,000. The screen went black immediately. Soda dripped through the keyboard. I panicked. I spent the next hour trying to dry it out with paper towels and a hairdryer, but it was dead. I had to call my boss and explain what happened. He was not happy. I ended up having to pay $700 to get it repaired because it was listed as my responsibility in my contract. Meanwhile, Kylie found scissors and cut her own hair. Big chunks of blonde hair all over the bathroom floor. She looked in the mirror, realized what she had done, and screamed for 2 straight hours. Nothing would calm her down. Not ice cream, not cartoons, not her stuffed rabbit. Just screaming. My ears were ringing. Lauren finally got her to stop by promising to take her to get a professional haircut the next day, which cost us another $40 we did not have. Diane came home at 9 that night. She was wearing a cocktail dress and heels, and I could smell alcohol on her breath. That was not a job interview. When I asked her how it went, she was vague, said it went fine, they would call her. She never mentioned the interview again. She never got a call back, because there was no interview. The next Saturday, it happened again. Diane had a meeting. Lauren volunteered us. I tried to protest. I had a project deadline for work code I needed to finish by Monday. Lauren said I could work while she watched them, but that was impossible. The kids were everywhere, loud, demanding constant attention. I got maybe an hour of work done the entire day. This became the pattern. Every single Saturday, Diane had somewhere to be. Week 3, she was meeting an old friend. She came back at 11 at night. Week 4, she needed to go shopping for essentials. She returned with bags full of new clothes for herself, nothing essential about them. Week 5, she deserved some personal time and went to a spa. She was gone for 7 hours. I had become an unpaid babysitter every weekend. My Saturdays, which I used to spend hiking or working on personal projects or just relaxing, were now spent chasing after 2 kids who did not listen to me and destroyed my belongings. Jaden deliberately broke my game controller one afternoon, then laughed about it. Kylie used markers to draw on my limited edition sneakers that I had saved up $300 to buy. When I brought these things up to Lauren, she said, "Kids will be kids," and I was being too uptight about material possessions. Diane never said thank you, not once. She acted like we owed her this, like it was our duty to take care of her responsibilities while she went out and did whatever she wanted. And Lauren enabled every bit of it. 3 months in, I could not take it anymore. I needed to talk to Lauren seriously, away from everyone else. One Wednesday evening after Diane had taken the kids to the park, I sat Lauren down on our deflated air mattress. My heart was pounding. I did not want to fight, but I needed her to understand. I started carefully. "Lauren, I love you, but this is not working. Your sister has been here 3 months. The kids are destroying our stuff, and we are babysitting every single weekend. We need to set some boundaries." Lauren immediately got defensive. Her whole body tensed up. "She is my sister, Gus. She has nowhere else to go. Those kids need stability. What do you want me to do? Kick them out on the street?" That is not what I am saying. I am asking for boundaries. Maybe she can start looking for her own place seriously. Or at least, we do not babysit every single weekend. I need time to work. We need time for us. We have not had a date night in months. I am working from a closet. I cannot focus. My stuff keeps getting ruined and nobody seems to care. Lauren started crying. "So, you want me to choose between you and my family? You are being selfish, Gus. If you really loved me, you would understand what she is going through." She lost everything. Those kids have been through trauma. They need us. I felt my chest tighten. I do understand. I have been understanding for 3 months. I have paid extra bills. I have given up my space, my time, my peace. I have watched those kids every weekend without complaint until now. I am not asking you to abandon your sister. I am asking you to see that I am drowning here. She wiped her eyes and stood up. "You are making this about you when it is not. My sister needs help. If you cannot be supportive, then I do not know what to tell you." She walked out and slept on the couch that night, even though the couch was technically Jaden's bed. I lay on the air mattress alone, staring at the ceiling again, feeling like the villain in a story where I was just trying to survive. The next few weeks were tense. Lauren barely spoke to me unless it was necessary. Diane seemed to sense the conflict and looked almost pleased about it. The babysitting continued. I stopped protesting out loud, but resentment built up inside me like pressure in a closed container. Every Saturday I spent wiping up spilled juice and breaking up fights between Jaden and Kylie. I felt a piece of myself disappear. I started thinking about what my life had become. I was 32 years old, living on an air mattress in my own apartment that I paid for, being treated like a free childcare service, and my girlfriend was choosing her sister over me at every turn. I was not sleeping. My work performance was slipping. I had stopped seeing my friends because I had no free time. I had not been to the gym in months. I felt invisible in my own life. Then came the breaking point. It was a Friday evening in late September. I came home after a brutal 10-hour day at work. We had a major product launch on Monday, and I needed the weekend to finish a presentation for the investors. I was exhausted, stressed, and behind schedule. I walked in to find Diane in the kitchen, dressed up again, hair and makeup done, nice outfit. She turned to me with this casual tone. "Oh good, you are home. I am going to visit Mom this weekend, leaving in an hour. I need you guys to watch Jaden and Kylie from tonight until Sunday evening." I felt something snap inside me. "The whole weekend, Diane. I have a critical work deadline on Monday. I need to finish a presentation. I cannot babysit for 2 full days." She barely looked at me. "Well, I already bought the bus ticket, so I am going." Lauren said it was fine. Before I could respond, Lauren walked in from the bedroom. "We can handle it, Gus. You can work while I watch them. It will be fine." I turned to her, trying to keep my voice steady. "Lauren, last time you watched them alone, Kylie climbed on the kitchen counter and almost fell. You called me panicking. This is not safe, and I am not doing it. I have to work this weekend." Diane scoffed. "Wow, Gus. I did not know you were this cold-hearted. They are just kids. But sure, prioritize your job over family." "Real nice." She grabbed her purse and walked out, leaving me standing there with my mouth open. Lauren grabbed my arm and pulled me into the bedroom, shutting the door behind us. The bedroom felt smaller than ever. Lauren stood with her arms crossed, her face set in a way I had never seen before. There was no softness there, no willingness to compromise, just cold determination. "Gus, you need to step up or get out." The words hit me like a physical blow. "What did you just say?" "I'm serious. My sister needs help. Those kids need us. If you cannot be there for my family, then maybe we do not have a future together." I stared at her, genuinely shocked. "So you are giving me an ultimatum: babysit every weekend or leave? I am asking you to be a partner, to be supportive. If you cannot do that, then yes, maybe you should leave." The room went silent except for the sound of my heart pounding in my ears. 3 years together. 3 years of building a life, making plans, supporting each other. And it came down to this: a choice between losing myself completely or losing her. But here is the thing. It was not really a choice anymore. She had already chosen. She had chosen her sister over me. She had chosen to disregard my needs, my boundaries, my well-being. She had chosen to see me as a resource rather than a partner. And in that moment, standing in that tiny bedroom with my girlfriend looking at me like I was the problem, I finally saw the truth clearly. I took a deep breath, the calmest I had felt in months. "Okay, I will leave." Her face changed instantly. The anger melted into shock. "What, Gus? I did not mean it like that. I just meant—" "No, you meant it. And I hear you loud and clear. I am not going to stay in a place where I am taken for granted, where my needs do not matter, where I am just free labor for your sister. I am done." I pulled my suitcase out from under the bed and started packing. My hands were surprisingly steady. Lauren stood frozen, watching me fold clothes and stuff them into the bag. "Gus, please, we can talk about this. Do not do this. I did not actually want you to leave. Then you should not have told me to. You should not have given me an ultimatum. You should not have spent 3 months making me feel like I did not matter in my own home. I filled 3 suitcases with everything I owned: clothes, books, personal items, my few remaining undamaged possessions. I packed my laptop and chargers. I grabbed Biscuit's leash from the hook by the door. I left behind all the furniture we had bought together, the kitchen stuff, the decorations. I did not want any of it. I just wanted out. Lauren followed me around the apartment, crying, now begging. Gus, I am sorry. I did not mean it. Please do not go. We can set boundaries. We can talk to Diane. Just stay and we will figure it out. But I was done figuring it out. I had tried to talk. I had tried to set boundaries. I had tried to be understanding and patient and supportive. And every time I was made to feel selfish for having basic needs. I loaded everything into my truck. Biscuit jumped into the passenger seat, sensing something was wrong but happy to be included. I took one last look at the apartment. Diane was standing in the hallway now, watching the whole thing. She did not say anything, but I saw the smallest smirk on her face. She had won. She had pushed me out. And I realized she had probably wanted this all along. I looked at Lauren one final time. She was standing on the sidewalk in her pajamas, tears streaming down her face. I loved you, Lauren. I really did. But love is not supposed to feel like I am drowning. Love is supposed to lift you up, not drag you down. You gave me a choice, and I am choosing myself. I got in my truck and drove away. It was 2 in the morning. I did not have anywhere to go, so I drove to my buddy Tyler's house and called him from the driveway. He came out in sweatpants and a t-shirt, took one look at my face and said, "Come on in, man." I cried in Tyler's guest room that night. Not because I regretted leaving, but because it hurt to let go of what I thought we had. But underneath the pain, there was something else. Something I had not felt in 3 months. Relief. Tyler let me crash on his couch for a week while I figured things out. He was a good friend, one of my buddies from college who had stuck around Austin. Every morning he would make coffee and we would sit on his back porch while Biscuit ran around the yard. "Bro, you did the right thing," he kept saying. "That situation was toxic. You were being used." It helped to hear someone validate what I had been feeling. For so long, Lauren had made me feel like I was the problem, like I was selfish for wanting basic respect in my own home. But Tyler saw it clearly. Your girl chose her sister over you every single time. That is not a partnership. That is not love. You deserved better. Within 5 days, I found a small studio apartment across town. It was not much, just one room with a kitchenette and a tiny bathroom, but it was mine. No air mattress, no screaming kids, no one using my stuff without permission. Just me and Biscuit. I signed the lease that afternoon and moved in the next day. The first night in my new place was surreal. It was so quiet. I could hear myself think. I set up my bed, unpacked my clothes, arranged my small kitchen. Biscuit explored every corner, then settled on the rug by the window content. I ordered pizza and ate it sitting on the floor because I did not have furniture yet. And it was perfect. Over the next week, I slowly bought what I needed. A small couch from a thrift store, a desk for my laptop, some plants because Lauren always said I should have plants. I hung up pictures of mountains and landscapes that I liked. I painted one wall dark blue because I always wanted to, but Lauren said it was too bold. This space was becoming mine in a way the old apartment never was. Work got easier too. I could focus again. I finished that presentation and nailed the investor meeting. My boss noticed the improvement and pulled me aside to say whatever I was doing, keep it up. I did not tell him I had just left a 3-year relationship. I just thanked him and got back to work. Lauren kept texting me. The first week it was constant. "I am sorry. Please come back. We can work this out." Diane said she will start looking for a place. I did not respond. I needed space. I needed to heal. Responding would just open the door to more manipulation, more guilt, more pressure to go back to a situation that was killing me slowly. After 2 weeks of silence from me, the texts changed. "You are being immature. You are abandoning me when I need you most. My family needs help, and you are acting like a child." That confirmed everything. Even now, she could not see how she had treated me. She still thought I was the problem. Then, about 3 weeks after I left, Tyler sent me some screenshots. He had been doing some digging on social media. One of our mutual friends had posted, asking if anyone knew a good landlord because her friend Lauren was looking for a 2-bedroom since her sister had moved out. I stared at my phone. Diane had moved out. Already. Tyler dug deeper. Apparently, Diane had met some guy named Frank at a bar. Frank had a stable job and a 3-bedroom house on the other side of town. Diane and the kids moved in with him 2 weeks after I left. 2 weeks. She had been with this guy for maybe a month total, and she was already living with him. but she needed to stay with us for 3 months. The more I learned, the clearer it became. Another friend of Tyler's said they saw Diane at bars every Saturday for months. Those job interviews, those essential shopping trips, that personal time she needed. All lies. She was going out meeting guys partying, and Lauren and I were the free childcare that made it possible. When Lauren found out that Tyler and I knew about Diane moving out, she texted me again. Diane moved out. Can we talk now? Can you please come home? I responded this time just once. I am glad she is gone, but that does not change what happened between us. You chose to disrespect me. You gave me an ultimatum. I made my choice. Take care of yourself, Lauren. I blocked her number after that. It sounds harsh, but I needed to move forward. Every text from her pulled me backward into guilt and doubt. I had to protect my peace. 2 months after leaving, my life looked completely different. I got promoted at work to senior engineer. My boss said I was doing the best work he had seen from me in years. The pay increase helped me save money again, start rebuilding what I had lost, supporting 5 people on my own. I started going to the gym at 6 in the morning before work. It felt good to take care of my body again, to have energy to feel strong. I reached out to friends I had been neglecting. We started having game nights on Fridays. I went hiking every Sunday, something I used to love but had given up. I adopted a cat from the local shelter, a gray tabby I named Pepper. She and Biscuit became unlikely best friends. I joined a rock climbing club that met on Wednesday evenings. That is where I met people who became real friends, people who shared my interests, who respected boundaries, who showed up for each other without keeping score. We climbed at the indoor gym and planned weekend trips to real mountains. I went with them to Enchanted Rock one Saturday and stood at the top, looking out over the Texas hill country, and felt something I had not felt in a year. Freedom. Pure, simple freedom. I started cooking for myself again, trying new recipes. I made Thai curry from scratch. I baked bread. I discovered I actually enjoyed cooking when I was not doing it in a chaotic kitchen with kids running around and someone always complaining about what I made. I would put on music, pour a glass of wine, and just create. It was therapeutic. My sleep improved dramatically. No more video game sounds until midnight. No more waking up to crying at 3 in the morning. No more lying awake stressed about money or boundaries or feeling invisible. I slept 8 solid hours and woke up refreshed. My coworkers commented that I seemed lighter, happier, because I was. One evening I ran into someone from my past at a work networking event downtown. Hannah had been my girlfriend briefly in college before we mutually decided we were better as friends. We had lost touch over the years, but seeing her again was easy and comfortable. We grabbed coffee afterward and caught up on life. She told me about her career as a physical therapist, her travels, her recent breakup. I told her about everything that had happened with Lauren. Hannah listened without judgment, then said something that stuck with me. "You seem lighter, Gus, like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders." I smiled because she was right, because it had been lifted. The weight of being unappreciated, of bending myself into shapes that did not fit, of losing pieces of who I was to make someone else comfortable. We started hanging out as friends. Nothing romantic, just 2 people who enjoyed each other's company. We would meet for coffee, go to concerts, take Biscuit and her dog to the park. It reminded me what healthy friendship looked like. Equal give and take. Mutual respect. Showing up for each other. 6 months after I left that apartment, I was sitting on my balcony one evening. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. Pepper was curled up on my lap, purring. Biscuit was asleep on the outdoor rug. I had a book in one hand and a beer in the other, and I felt content. Not the desperate, grasping happiness of trying to make a broken relationship work, but real, deep contentment. I thought about everything I had learned. Walking away was not giving up. It was choosing myself when no one else would. It was recognizing that I deserved respect, consideration, and partnership. Love should never feel like you are losing pieces of who you are. It should never require you to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. I learned that boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. They are how you protect your peace and your mental health. People who truly love you will respect your boundaries. People who guilt you for having them are showing you who they are. Believe them. I learned that family does not mean accepting disrespect. It does not mean sacrificing your well-being indefinitely. It does not mean you have to light yourself on fire to keep others warm. You can love someone and still choose not to let them take advantage of you. Most importantly, I learned that sometimes loving yourself is the bravest thing you can do. It is easy to stay in situations that hurt you because leaving feels harder in the moment, but staying costs you pieces of your soul over time. I almost lost myself trying to be what Lauren needed. Walking out that door was not me giving up on her. It was me refusing to give up on myself. Lauren tried to contact me one more time on Christmas. She sent a long message about how she missed me, how she had learned from her mistakes, how she wanted another chance. She said Diane was engaged to Frank and doing well. She said the apartment felt empty without me. She hoped we could talk. I read it twice, then deleted it. Not out of anger or bitterness, but because that chapter was closed. I had built a new life, a better life, a life where I was valued and respected, starting with how I valued and respected myself. Going back would mean undoing all that growth. Some doors are meant to stay closed, so here I am a year after that 2 a.m. drive away from everything I thought I wanted. And I have never been happier. I have a job I love, friends who lift me up, hobbies that fulfill me, and peace in my own space. I am dating casually, nothing serious yet, but I am in no rush. I know what I will accept and what I will not. I know my worth. If you are watching this and you are in a relationship where you feel invisible, where your needs are constantly dismissed, where you are expected to sacrifice everything while your partner sacrifices nothing, please hear this. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be valued. You deserve a partner who treats you with respect and consideration. You deserve peace. Sometimes the hardest goodbyes lead to the best hellos, and sometimes stepping out that door is not an ending. It is the beginning of finding yourself again. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to choose between a relationship and your own peace? Drop a comment and let me know your story. I would love to hear how you handled it. And if this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share this with someone who might need to hear it today. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope wherever you are in life right now, you choose yourself. You choose your peace. You choose your worth. You deserve it. Take care of yourselves out there. Until next time.